first training ever for T2. Overall thoughts?
Excited. The guys gave a tremendous effort out there. They worked hard, and it's a tough one. Everybody coming in together first time, and different countries, different places, not known names, and new coach, knew everything. So it was guys worked very hard, and it was just exciting to be out there again.
And what are some takeaways for you after spending, I guess it was about 3.5 weeks with the first team?
Mm-hmm. Well, for sure, it's refined seeing how Caleb and his staff, Sean and Cameron and Pablo, how they work, making sure that I'm on the same page and that the same message is going through and through. The experience of also, part of the job is to make sure, or the majority of the job is to make sure someone from my team makes it to Caleb's team. So to see the standard of play, to see what does a Gaston look like in person, and what does a Nat Borges look like, etc. down the line. So it gives me a comparison, a bar to reach for the guys I have to work with.
You'll have a couple of Timbers guys training with you starting tomorrow, right? Belmar and...
Yes, in fact, they just trained with us right now. So Christian Valesky and Carlton Belmar joined us today. They will be moving with us there. So they did double duty today. The other boy who did a double duty with us was Sheila Schuma. That was more of he's been really doing a great job, and he's working on his fitness. So he just did do a double duty to help me out and get a little extra run.
Have you and Caleb talked quite a bit? I mean, is it very clear in your mind what your role and what the T2 development is for the big club? Or is that a work in
sure.
progress?
Yeah, no, it's a work in progress, no doubt. I mean, we're testing new waters, with bringing a new team and club and the association. That's all new, but conversations with Caleb as well as Sean and Cameron and Gavin and Merritt, it's seamless. This is what we're supposed to do, how we're going to do it, how we're going to work. Our philosophies are all meshed together, so it's tremendous, work from top to bottom. And same thing, integrating down to the academy. One of my assistants will be Andrew Greger, who works with the academy and is also spent time with. He was down with us for several weeks as well in the first group. So we're all just trying to make sure the message from the top gets all the way down to the bottom.
Coach, what would you say you're looking for in a T2 player?
A player who can play for T1 and down the road. So that's the idea. For sure, as we go about the process, we're here to win matches as well. So there may be players where, just for example, like you go to other sports like a Bull Durham type situation where we need a guy who's a little bit older and mature in the locker room who can show the rookies the way around. But for the most part, we're looking for young guys who can eventually become a first team player.
How many of the guys out there, I mean, some are trialists and some are, no signs been out that can give us an idea of how many out there are actually under contract?
Have signed contract? I think it's like 4 or 5, perhaps. So it's a lot of trialists this week in particular. Next week, it'll thin out a little bit. We'll have a little bit better idea.
How did the weekend without the tryouts go?
It was great. Great number of people there. There's some. I think at this point we haven't pulled anybody. Well, the goalkeeper was helping us out today. Came through the tryouts as well. So that's helping us through the stages here. And there's some players that as we go through, my message to some of them was that, listen, I have to get now with these trialists and see what's their standard. How do you compare to them? We have a good feel for where they were and amongst the people who are trying out for it. Now, how do they compare to the boys here?
So talking about the roster, what roster size are you anticipating for T2? How do you sort of balance that with the guys who might be coming in on loan from the
first team? That's really something that we're going to try and figure that out. But I'm looking at somewhere probably around 14 players, and then borrowing from the first team. When they're getting them time, I think part of it will be getting them time that for the younger guys who need that to promote their career, as well as then there may be and I don't want to speak for like a Caleb, but there's going to be people who have injuries as well who need games to get match fit so they're ready to jump into Providence Park with the first team. So it'll kind of do a couple different things.
Jay, we have a chance to talk to you, but talk about why you've made this move at this point from college to this channel.
Well, I think there's several reasons. One is, I think, just personally is a new challenge. I've been at Wake Forest, for close to 30 years, and had done that, done that. Won the championships, Final Fours, players of the pros, etc. And want another challenge. And so I was very happy that Caleb and Merritt were able to provide me with this opportunity. I also think if we start looking at the MLS, I think it's in a situation right now where it can blow up, and it can really grow, and I'm excited about being a part of that, and maybe in a dimension where to grow with MLS, and also this niche of I've had the opportunity to work with young men and take them to the pro ranks and then leave them. I think there's maybe some things changing now, and this is my vehicle of being with young men, developing them, and also keeping them in that pro ranks and just taking the next step.
How do you see this comparing to the college in terms of, are there a lot of similarities in terms of development and that side of it?
Well, we hope to. We hope so, but we hope we can do it better. And I think there's just, in terms of, with that, meaning that we have some of the restrictions and guidelines that are in the NCAA situation in terms of training time, amount of participation, matches, things like that are very restrictive. And it's very difficult for the college coaches. They do a tremendous job with those restrictions. But here it is, from now, there's another 30 weeks here where we get going, where, in college, at the end of my season this year when I got knocked out of the tournament, I said, I got to wait until August 1 or August 15th to have my next practice session. And here it is, we'll be going for the next 30 weeks, and we can have young men now in a professional environment where the opportunity is, if they do well in that field, they'll have an opportunity to be up here with the first team. And that's a tremendous incentive.